Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Bennett and Mike are sitting down to discuss what is high speed, low drag.
It's me.
You arrogant fuck. All right, so no, you know what?
That's completely false at this point.
It's
I'm
cocky.
the exact opposite. I'm the exact opposite right now. I am high drag, low speed.
Well,
Sure.
I think what we inadvertently did here by this morning, right now, for our listening audience, it's 7:30 in the morning, and we do a morning episode every once in a while because, well, frankly, they're fun, and we also know that you're going to be listening to us in the morning sometimes. Why not? So we inadvertently did something that's high speed, low drag.
Inadvertent.
We just sat down. I mean, what? We have been on Skype for 1 minute and 42 seconds. We've been recording for 1 minute. Hey, Bennett, we're going to talk about high speed, low drag and what it means to you. That's high speed, low drag. Boom.
Bam.
But honestly, I mean, I think anyone in any line of work, in any profession, so long as you have the desire, can be high speed, low drag.
For sure.
I think that should be a better desire than, I mean, that's my own opinion, you know. Choose to yearn for whatever you want, but I desire true proficiency to where we can be like high speed, low drag in everything we do. Where the operation, when you look at it, you're just like, damn, that was sexy. You know, or same thing in the kitchen. When you see a chef making something and they're just like, clack, 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 clack. Dude, I can't do that shit. I will chop my fingers off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watch somebody work a knife and everything's proper.
I cook a lot and I still can't do that shit. But
No.
you know what? Those are knife skills that people work on and practice. And
Yeah.
I don't ever have a need to do that. So,
Well, but it's like
chopping shit off. There'll be flesh in the freaking, you know, you'll be like a Wendigo eating my fingers.
See, that's I think that's the secret sauce to me. In Mike Penny's isms is I so very badly want to be just high speed, low drag. And what I mean is when somebody looks at us, it's just like, boom, the mission's done kind of a deal. Like, you know, Buddha says, enlightenment is you hear tree, you visualize tree kind of a deal. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
yeah, right.
You don't even need to say anything. The mission is just done. Well, it's like what Jeff was talking about. It was lost on our audience, frankly, because he was talking to business leaders, right? And frankly, not a whole lot of them were combat experience, veterans, if there are any veterans that were in the audience, and that's fine. But he talks about the Battle of Tebeka in Iraq and being a Green Beret, working with these, Iraqi units or whatever the hell, the local nationals that he's working with. But they went into battle and nothing was said. They just went, no orders were given or anything. It's not like everything just worked in their favor. It wasn't a huge rout to them. People, of course, on either side of the conflict were killed and shit happens along the way, but they went just to work. That was it. That's high speed, low drag.
Get shit done.
Right.
Well, it's like some of those retaliatory, like the retaliation type missions, where shit went down and the commanders look at guys like that and go get shit done.
Right.
And they just go, right? Seriously.
Yes.
Because we know that shit happens, we know that it happens all the time, because it's the message. It's that message that it gives to the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. you're playing your little insurgency or you're doing this, and you might think you're winning, but at any moment, if given the opportunity, we will crush you.
Yes.
That's part of, and this is part of the issue that we've been talking about with these conflicts for decades now. Decades now, right?
Right.
Is that if you let the military off the chain to do their job, they'll get shit done. That's fucking high speed. That's fucking go in and take, I mean, damn.
Yes, I do.
I mean, you know what I mean? Just look at the way that all these situations happened, where you literally just roll in and get work done, and everybody wants to do is go home. But doesn't work out that way. But anyway, that's the low drag part.
See, that's when
or the high drag part. High
Right.
drag, low speed. High drag, low speed. That's the pace that politicians work at.
So, like, I can't predict the future or anything, but I'm pretty sure the next Jim Mattis quote is going to be, "Watch this."
Watch this one. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're just, we're about to fuck you up. So, that's what we do. We make Marines and we win wars. Yeah,
see,
man.
the thing, it's just crazy. I don't know. Diplomacy, like, I don't want to go down this road.
Diplomacy be damned. We're talking high speed, low drag.
Well, I'm just saying, we are diplomacy. The military is a tool in that diplomacy that I never feel like they use correctly. It's like, look at it and go, look at people that get froggy and literally say, well, look at what happened to Saddam. The problem is that we can't go back and say that because we dick danced around in the country.
Well, yeah.
If you go in, do work and drop the mic as you're leaving, then you can come back to that and say, you know what I mean? Then you're like Attila.
Yeah, but when
and you don't want to necessarily be that way, but it's kind of that's the way that shit works, man. Is you use the might when you have to. You fucking go in, fuck shit up. I'm not gonna. Why are we rebuilding? You know what I mean? Are we really trying to win their hearts and minds? Come on, man.
Well, there's an organization for that, and it's not the Marine Corps.
It's not the military.
That is not high speed, low drag.
No. So anyway, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, so that's where I'll leave it. But it's one of those things. Is that's what the military does. They do high speed fucking shit, not nation building.
Right.
I mean, if you want a military attaché, get the civil affairs motherfuckers to attach themselves to the NGOs and have fun.
And it's like, I think that as an advisor in the Marine Corps, we probably had the closest mission to like a nation rebuilding. And then there were usually it was other cadres in other different, areas. They weren't pulling in grunts except for PSD missions or something like that. But we just being embedded and being able to work kind of with those guys.
Yeah, like in advisory teams, like duh. I mean, so you have military. I love it how, and I do it with air quotes, just so you know, the military advisors.
Right.
We've been doing that shit for 100 damn years.
Great mission.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm telling you. Well, the flexibility of being an advisor is so fantastic. I mean, if you haven't caught on by now, that unto itself is high speed, low drag. See, what I think is funny is that it's weird, okay? It's almost like the party, or it's like Tao. It's like when you're in it, you don't realize that you're high speed, low drag until you're out of it, and you're like, wow, this is some high speed, low drag shit, man.
Yeah, it's like the first time I ever spy rigged.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, a little. You're a little apprehensive. Let's use that word. At the time, you're like, okay, this is gonna be fucking cool, right?
Right.
But you're still like, what the fuck?
Right. You're dangling me from
this
a
is a
helicopter.
little squirrely, right? So, We did it. We were done. And I remember all looking at each other going, that was fucking badass. You know? That was badass. Like literally pulling us out of a freaking forest, flying to where we were going. And you know, the mission was over. That was badass.
Yeah.
Talk about extraction. It's motherfucking badass. That shit was high speed, low drag.
For show.
For show.
Yeah, man.
And I had some incredible pictures that I had taken that I had during training. When we did some shit in California, we were doing, so we were rappelling. That's basically when I like fell out of the helicopter because that was high speed ascension to the fucking ground.
Right.
And
it was a little too high speed there, bro.
You know, fast roping, spy rigging, the whole thing. And we were doing it with the guys from the Special Operations Air Regiment in the SOAR guys, the Army SOAR.
Mm-hmm.
They were our pilots for that entire mission. Those are some cool dudes to hang out with. Those warrant officers could drink. I'm just saying. Those guys could drink their asses off. You know, but
yeah, man.
I had some incredible pictures, and they got lost in the freaking sauce with the and I don't know, did I tell the story? I think I told the story about how all my shit got auctioned off by a the hell are those things called? Storage units. Yeah, bastards. That was part of it. Were those awesome fucking pictures. So they're sitting in somebody's somewhere at this point, or they're in the trash, and they you're decomposed at this point.
If you're a listener and you know somebody who has Bennett's pictures,
my motherfucking paddle.
Yeah, the F.
Seriously? You know, my paddle. Hello.
He got that for being high speed, low drag, people. I don't know if you realize this.
But anyway. Still bitter about that. But we've been talking as a group. We've been talking about because there's a whole bunch of guys that have like either their paddles have broken or the ex-wives broke or whatever. There's a whole bunch of people that have the same sort of issue, and they've been talking about recreating these paddles.
Yeah.
So that might happen soon. But all my coins, man. Oh God.
It's gonna kill them, folks. Don't clutch the chest. Ride the lightning, bro. Just ride it.
I try not to think about it. So
I know.
Whatever.
I hear you.
Anyway.
Dude, one of the things that I didn't realize in my last, so you know how when you're done leading Marines and then just all of a sudden you're done leading Marines and you're like, whoa, that's
all of a sudden you're heading out the gate at Christianitos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was crazy though because
and then you're just done.
Well, and what I wound up doing when I, kind of like got back that night. So we all got back, but I took accountability of all of the guys and everything else. They put all of their shit in their cars, with their families and everything, and they all left. And then when the last guy left, we were sitting there, and Heather, my wife, is like, hey, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, that's everybody. Wait a minute. And then I thought about it, and like the whole team was gone. For a second, it was really weird. It was like they were gone, and they were gone without me. You know what I mean? We just got back from this wartime experience, and now they're all just, there you go, like gone. Like what the fuck?
That's it. Well, it's like the guys that you spend all those years with in the military, right? And then the next thing you know, you don't see them for 15 years. But then when you pick back up, you're right back in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and, of course,
that's where that comes from.
Right. Well, and we came back to work and, we saw each other and blah, 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 obviously, before getting out of the Marine Corps. But it was just very odd and seeing each other like every single day, maintaining accountability, making sure that everything was up and blah, blah, blah. And then just poof, that
Life gets a lot easier.
Well, it was crazy too, because, and this goes to the topic at hand, when we were in Sangan, I mean, it was almost like in some aspects, it was a survival scenario in some ways, just because the unit that we were with packed up all their shit and left, which was fine. They needed to go on. They were doing a push. But when they left, it was just us and the Afghans, just my little team and the Afghans. And we had guys from Alpha Company that were part of the element that we, comprised. And they were just different squad members that basically supplemented our teams. We had interpreters, which you know how that is. And then we had like the cops that lived around the patrol base. But when they left, I mean, shit, man. We had barely any ammo. We had like enough ammo to go on post. And that was it. We literally just took all of the ammo out of the ASP, aside from a little bit of pyro, and a couple of rockets that are like per SOP. But we took it all out of the ammo control point and put them all around the the post. It was one of those things where it was like we had like one light bulb, green gear, 2 black radios, a map, and then like some overlays in the COC. Oh, and a chair and a table. And we're like, all right, sweet, like here we go. And so one black gear went to the gate, the other black gear went to the COC, and we begged, borrowed, and stole across the net to try to boost what we could. And then wound up getting over with the guys at Alpha. That's what we did. Dude, that's what I'm saying is, your high speed, low drag, if you can complete the mission, so like all of our posts had ammunition, everything was, I guess you could say, overloaded. We were hunkered down with the Afghans. They weren't going to kill us by any means. And then we got the Alpha guys to start calling around to Alpha Company and then get us logistics through their company while we were calling around to H&S. So we basically were trying to pull logistics from multiple sources. Because 2 is 1 and 1 is none, bitch. So then we were, like, all of a sudden the log trains show up and, hey, now we've got our shit back. We've got water and food, stuff like that, basically.
Actual provisions.
But, and much to the point, we get to the end of the mission and we're like, we're going out, we're patrolling, we're doing a cycle and stuff like that. We get to the end of the mission. It was like a Tuesday. I had a crazy run-in with a bomb manufacturer. The following Tuesday, I was sliding around Walmart at like 3 a.m. with my eyes rolled back into the back of my skull, essentially, because this place is the only place that was open. Walmart at 3 a.m. Sliding around in flip-flops, trying to figure out where my head was, which it was on the other side of the world. The jet lag of all of that, and well, then. It's like, okay, you're in a war zone. Full kit, boom, 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 boom. Week later, you're just like hanging out in SoCal. What's up, guys? How's life?
You're all kind of in a daze, haze,
right?
For sure. And this is one of those reasons guys go out and get in trouble too.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing though, is like nobody on our team went out and got in trouble. And you need to be mature if you're going to be high speed, low drag.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I guess you can be an immature fuck running around being HSLD. That's how high speed, low drag I am. I use HSLD. Keep up, people. But you're not going to go very far. I'll tell you that much. You got to be mature if you want to do the long-term high-speed, low-drag. See, I think that's the thing now in, like, life. I don't think that I've ever tried to... I don't know. This is just me. I've never tried to master anything. I don't know if you can. But I've always tried to get, like, real high-speed, low-drag with it.
Right.
You know, like, quick draw McGraw over here. Sight, squeeze, sight, squeeze. You know what I mean? Like, that that whole slow is smooth, smooth is fast. There, I said it. So if you go slow and maintain overall, you will wind up having a smooth outcome in the long run. And so
I tell my kids that all the time.
Yeah.
Slow is smooth is fast, and they laugh at me.
Because they don't understand. I mean, you just take your time to be able to do something, and then you'll complete it, right?
Well, they get it. They just laugh at me. Daddy, we're not in the Marines.
We're not trying to bubble up an 81 millimeter mortar system. We don't.
I usually use it. Right. I usually use it with sports stuff, though, for them. You know, whether they're doing, it's until you learn the movements.
Sure.
Just do it with, I don't know what the word is. I can't think of the word.
It's not going through the motions, though.
No, absolutely not.
Because that's the other thing. It is intentional. Well, it's basically
intentional. That's it. Intentional. Go through the movements with intention and do them correctly. And if you do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, then it becomes high speed, right?
Right.
So, I mean, this is something that we know and that we've all learned, but people seem to forget. You know what it is people don't have the patience for it. So that's why we're in the military. It's beaten into us, and that's why the only way that it's one of those techniques where, the only ways that we learn as humans are mindless repetition and blunt force trauma.
Yes.
And they do both to us in the military.
Yes.
It's blunt force trauma to get to the mindless repetition.
But there's also incentives too, though, because remember, pays to win.
True.
Pays to win.
True.
He with the fastest reload sleeps the longest. Right. That is a Mikeism. He with the fastest reload sleeps the longest. Because we would do reload drills and reload competitions to see who is going to stand fire watch. Fuck you. And, oh, by the way, in the middle of that firefight, I'm going to be like a goddamn machine gun. Penny's over there like just rolling through magazines. Oh, hell yeah. I'm never going to stand firewatch, bitches. I'm going to practice my reload drills constantly. That's solid incentive right there. So,
True.
And I've had a PSO be like, damn, dude, that's a badass reload. Like,
well, it's just pretty smart to do that. Is literally make the performance dictate who does the work. You know what I mean? So if you're doing the work to make your performance great, you're not going to stand firewatch.
Right.
Or at least you're not going to be standing it at, 2 a.m.
Exactly.
You might get to stand it at freaking 2000 when you want to be standing it because you're going to be awake anyway.
Best firewatch shift, and anybody knows this. Best firewatch shift, last firewatch shift.
Yes, correct. I would agree. It's first or last. It's one or the other.
Well, and if it's not going to be the last shift, then you want the first shift. But the reason why I say the last shift is because you can kind of sort of take your time putting away your bivouac. And the rest of the guys are going to have to rush putting away their shit. Meanwhile, you're all buttoned up. You're the asshole kicking boots, calling reveille. I'm great at that. I am fantastic at annoying the shit out of you until you wake the fuck up.
You're a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, I'm real high speed, low drag when it comes to bivouac and screaming reveille. You know the kid, and I'll say the kid, the boot who's like, reveille! Reveille! You know what I'm talking about. He's checking his watch. He's like, Sergeant, it's 5 minutes until reveille. You pull the dick out of your fucking mouth and talk to me like a Marine. It's 5 minutes until Reveille. Okay, thank you. And then I start packing my shit up, and he's like, Reveille. And I'm like, oh, no. I'm going to work you like a fucking puppet unless you use your man voice. You fucking reach down, you grab your Reveille! You need to stir the fire, the beast within. We're about to slay bodies. Come on. Reveille! You're never going to be high speed, low drag with that type of, don't do it. Reveille.
I can't even do it. It actually causes me pain to say it.
It does. It makes my testes wilt. Yeah. See? Audience members, I know that you have your own high speed, low drag stories. You need to join us for a conversation on Cigars and Sea Stories and tell us how fucking high speed, low drag you are. Or, here's a better challenge. Tell us how high speed, low drag you aren't. I would love to hear a story where it's like, yeah, so, we put a box charge or maybe like a donut charge and we blew the door and I don't know, it filled the entire hallway with like smoke and disgustingness and we're all fuckered up. That's better to me. Like, I get it. I know what it's like flowing through a house like water. Usually you want to go top down because frags go down. I get it. I totally understand. I want to hear how you got flashbanged because your buddy was a dumbass. Or, oh man, I'm going to see if I can get my buddy Gibbs on here, which is not his real name, but he fragged our staff sergeant in the ass.
Oh, dude.
Oh no my shit. God.
That's crazy.
And it was totally fine. It was a good.
It was totally fine.
It was a good frag. Let me put it to you that way. It was a good frag. And when the guy, oh my God, dude, I'll never forget that. We're out at like range 119 or whatever. Just, yeah!
Oh my God.
Shrapnel to the butt cheeks will cause an involuntary reaction of the high-pitched nature. I found out.
Oh man, there's nothing like hearing a man scream like a woman, bro. That shit is so funny. I could listen to it over and over again and just laugh.
Oh my God.
I'm so fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. As long as the person's not dying screaming that way.
Yeah. No, he's fine. No.
If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not some masochistic fuck, but yeah.
No, we're talking hot lead through butt cheek, kind of like, Forrest Gump style.
Oh my God.
Oh,
bro.
dude. Yeah, but people aren't, those who have been there understand range 19 or whatever in 29 palms. You might as well be on the surface of Mars. So you're, out in the middle of the Mojave Desert and you just got fragged across the butt cheeks. And you're just like, where's the ambulance and why is it not here yet? Because you're in the middle of the fucking desert. Like, I can't tell you how bad that had to have sucked. I have no idea. But it was really fucking funny when it happened. I can definitely tell you that much right now. We were doing tape houses.
All I can hear is fucking like training is Denzel Washington in Training Day. When he shot him in the last scene when he shot him in the ass. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. You shot me in the ass. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that is what it turned into. It was just the immediate moment was like, yeah! And then it was like, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. You mother. And it's like, you shouldn't have been standing there. Which, I mean, like, there was no investigation. There was no nothing. It was, I'm not going to tell the story. I'm going to see if he wants to get on here and tell it. It was fantastic. And circling back to the topic, we were so high speed, low drag that we were doing tape houses at the time. Because we were on a live fire 360 degree melt range. So we were just doing tape houses, just practicing flowing through. That is how you get high speed, low drag, tape houses. Not going through 360 degree live fire training all of the time, doing tape houses all the time. And then going through 360 degree live fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's brilliant to the basics.
I do. I do.
So we were doing that, and then somebody got fragged in the ass.
That's insane.
It's high speed, low track. No, it's not. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Cigars and Sea Stories. Thank you to our sponsors, Heroes Media Group. You guys are freaking awesome. Adam Bird is doing amazing things out there. He's interviewing awesome people, celebrities, politicians. I've said too much. Just doing awesome things. Heroes Media Group is a fantastic podcast resource. So if you yourself want to become a podcaster and then hop over onto that network, by all means, we'll help you out there. If you yourself would like to write a 5-paragraph business plan for your podcast, I'm foot stomping over here. I'm going to tell you how to get on Heroes Media Group. You ready for this? Write a 5-paragraph business plan for your podcast. And that's a real easy way to get on that network. So just kind of, just throwing it out there. Huge thank you to veteranslist.us. If you're an entrepreneur, a veteranpreneur who would like to get a featured membership at veteranslist.us and you want 50% off, that's half off your featured membership on veteranslist.us, enter in discount code at Cigars and Sea. At Cigars and Sea. And then you're going to get 50% off, and veteranslist.us is going to get you recognized. They're also doing certification stamps and all sorts of stuff. So, like, they're certifying essentially as veteran-owned businesses, which is pretty cool. It's another, hey, man, I'm not stolen valor. It's sad that we don't have to do that. But, like, some people choose to. So, and Spartan Media for rocking it out on the old website. We continue to do work, so thank you guys over there. Thanks, everybody, for listening to another episode of Cigars and Sea Stories. Bennett, what do you got for us?
The sweet potato is the state vegetable of the state of North Carolina.
Sweet potato for North Carolina.
Sweet potato.
That is our
sweet
state
potato.
Vegetable.
State vegetable of North Carolina.
Nice.
Sweet potato.
So there's your facts. You got to stay all the way until the end of the episode. Tell a friend about Cigars and Sea Stories factoids. Because you're getting smarter, not harder, or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Sweet potato is the state veggie down here.
Just thought you'd like to know that.
We have
it's useful information,
There you go. And on that note, we cue the music.